Good afternoon, Sports Insanity Network fans. It's Mark Oldop Sky Halpern here on the Sports Insanity Network with my PIC, Vice President Danny Boy Reginald Dan Ryans. Dan, how's it down there in good old what was rainy Washington, D.C.? Sports Insanity.
Um, well, we were expecting worse. Things ended up being a lot better. So, great news. No
In which
disaster.
you contr in which you control the news, so it's all about you. You did it all.
You know what it is? Maybe my sleep, because I was asleep the entire time we had the storms. Maybe my sleeping powers moved the storm.
And
People
there you
say
go.
though about how Mother Nature reacted to the atmosphere and stuff. No, maybe it's just me sleeping. They got scared of my snoring and they realized, oh, they can't attack me. So they moved away. So that's all it is.
Yes, the insanity in this network goes unrelentless. So, why are we here? We're here now yet again reporting on our New York Knicks, and we get to report about three games because we only have three games, but they were all wins, baby.
Yeah.
Give a little Dick Vitale there. Because these were diaper dandies, baby. This was all them. It was all day, all night. I remember listening to Dick Vitale at his high point, and that was fun to listen to. Uh, the Knicks kicked off their three-game win streak against the Utah Jazz, which they ended up winning 134 to 117. The score being one of the more unusual ones for the Knicks. The Knicks normally do not put up 130, 134 points. The problem is it's still only 17-point difference. So if you're going to go off on a night like that, your defense has to be stellar and keep it farther away, or you're just leaving the door open. Um, High points from the usual suspects. We got Jalen Brunson with 28, Karl Anthony Towns with 21, OG Anunoby with 27, and all of a sudden Jordan Clarkson's been drinking Michael Jordan special juice in Space Jam. Put up another 27-point night. Congratulations to Karl Anthony Towns. Not Karl Anthony Towns. Congratulations to Jordan Clarkson. Sorry about that, Carl. You only get mentioned once. Danny boy.
Good team win. Um, I know they were, like I said, they were down early against Utah. Unusual that they think they're down by 15. Um, but they were able to regather themselves in the second quarter. They had a way better second quarter where they
Oh
outscored
yeah.
Utah. And then from then on, it was all Knicks. So, no, great recovery after the first quarter. And it turned out to be a double-digit victory, which is what we love. We love seeing Karl Anthony Towns getting double-digit points, getting into 20s. That's what we want. Um, of course, we talked about Clarkson. Clarkson with the 27. He was absolutely tremendous. Um, Lately off the bench, he's the one I've been looking at, Jordan Clarkson of late. So that's pretty good. And then of course, as usual, Jalen Brunson being the number one and it truly amazing stuff. Um, Still a little concerned about Mikal Bridges. He's not putting up the point totals that I would love to see him put up, but a win is a win, and
Yes.
you can't complain about that.
Is it time to say, hey, look, I know we're paying this guy and what we traded for this guy, but is it time to let someone like Clarkson, who's played his position and has been on a hot hand, just to give him a little wake up call? I'm not saying do that the whole game. First quarter and see how he reacts.
No, I think you
Okay?
keep the starting five. Obviously it's on a rotating basis with at least one player, right? Keep the starting four, the usuals. Like I think that's fair. I think Mikal Bridges is a starter. The problem is that I don't know why, but he gets too cocky early. Excuse my language. I don't like the fact that he just chucks up shots like it's as if it's nothing. And it's just like, bro, like, you gotta make sure you have a good look. And if you don't have the hot hand, don't force the hand.
Dale Bridges, in the beginning of the season, he came out firing. He was hitting, and I'm not saying he was averaging 30 points. He was
Right.
averaging
He was better
15
than
to
what he did
18.
last year. Yeah.
Right. 15 to 18. He was constantly knocking down three-pointers. Now he is lucky enough if he hits 1 for 5, and then funny enough, that's what he actually went in this one. But I would rather him, play a softer role. Play down inside. Let's get him down inside with Towns for rebounding if needed. I mean, when we see Karl Anthony Towns put up 21, Dan, we know that the rebounds in other areas are going to suffer a little bit.
But he's still doing it though. That's the problem. Karl Anthony Towns is scoring 20 plus points, maybe 15, and still getting double-digit rebounds. Like he's still
Yeah.
averaging a double-double.
Oh, yeah.
You
But
know?
in this game in hack, he only had 7 rebounds, but he did have 7 assists.
Right.
So, I mean, take it for what it should be, and it is what it is. The Knicks took this win very strongly. A lot of the Knicks bench was used once we got into the fourth quarter. So Diawara got a little bit of time in. Mitchell Robinson was in and out all game. And Jeremy Schoen did a little bit. Dan, I know he had 7 assists. He had 2 rebounds. It was 2 for 3 from the field. Alvarado was averaging 9 points a game before coming up to New York while putting up the 7 assists and 2 rebounds. Is it because he's now surrounded by more scorers than what he was used to be, and he's now using what he's more reliably like a Draymond Green?
Yeah, obviously he's he's on a way better team than he was when he was in New Orleans. So he's not needed for the point totals as much. I also think it's Mike Brown. I don't think Mike Brown really knows what to do with him. That's another thing. But I think it's more the former than the latter. I think it's the fact that he's surrounded by more scorers. They're not going to feed him the ball as much. But here's my thing about Alvarado whenever he gets cooking. He plays solid defense. He dishes it out to the main scorers. He's a team player. I like it a lot. He hasn't played the greatest basketball of late. It's not that concerning because the Knicks are on a 3-game win streak, but I like to see a little bit more action from him. I really would.
So the Knicks come away with a win and head on out to one of the Knicks' biggest foes, even going way back as far as I was, and that is the Indiana effing Pacers. If you don't know about the rivalry about Indiana and New York, just Google Indiana Pacers, New York Knicks fights and controversies. You'll actually get like a Larry Moe Curly version of it.
Yeah.
The Knicks knew this was a must-win game, and considering Indiana's record, I don't think they really have much to worry about. Usual suspects on the high with Karl Anthony Towns out this game. Jalen Brunson with 29 and Anobi with 25. Mikal Bridges 11 points, a little bit better. But Mitchell Robinson played for 31 minutes, had
Mhm.
12 points and 22
He's a
rebounds. That
beast.
is a clap.
He's
That
just
is a
such a
clap,
beast, dude.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
I know people are saying that you need a guy like you need a Shaq in the front and you need a Tim Duncan in the back. You don't. You just need guys who are aggressive and are hungry for the ball, like the Knicks used to do with Anthony Mason back in the day. So I mean, it is what it is. Um, 5 assists from Anunoby, 9 from Brunson. That is something Brunson has turned up the heat on, Dan,
Yeah.
is his assist numbers. He's averaging better than 6.5 over his last 6 games.
Yes. And um again, good that he's scoring, good that he's finding people that can also score. Mitchell Robinson, you mentioned that he had the 22 rebounds, a career high, which is absolutely stellar. Again, not much production from the bench, but they didn't need it because the starters really came together today and really put up a tremendous effort. So, good job by them. Against the Pacer team that, again, you know, they just love feasting on the Knicks. Um, didn't quite do it this game time around, but still, like, it was good effort by the Knicks to beat up their rivals. And again, they're superior to Indiana. The fact that they already lost against Indiana this season, it really pisses me off because
Yeah.
they're better than them this year. And
Oh, without question.
and the fact of the matter is, the last time they faced each other, it was disappointing because they allowed the Pacers to really get to their heads a little bit. And I don't want to hear about injuries and all that bullshit. Like
Right.
they allowed them to get to their heads a little bit. So this game, they realized from Jump Street, they're the better team, and we're gonna play like it. And I'm glad that they did. So
Nothing special
easy.
about the Indiana's Pacers
Yeah,
numbers.
no, and that's how it should be because they're not that good.
But got to give a little bit of numbers. Obi Toppin. I always got to have a spot for Obi
Boo.
Toppin because I watched him play here in Ossining. Yeah, 9 points, 4 rebounds.
Boo.
Therese
Raider.
Walker. Therese Walker had a nice game with 18 points, 9 rebounds. The Indiana Pacers are a young team, and you're not going to take this team and flip it over one season. This is a massive rehaul that this team is going to have to go through. So,
Yeah, well,
don't
you also don't have Tyrese Halliburton too, so it's
well
like
that too. That's a big problem.
which 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 which
So,
which turned out to be a massive issue. Not saying that this starting five with Tyrese Halliburton would be winning more than 30 games. I actually don't know what this roster would look like with him, but I'll tell you right now, it ain't gonna be much better than what they're getting out right now.
so the Knicks come away with the win, and then they're on their. Then they were there. It's not then there. That's the Knicks then traveled to the good old Golden State. Or was that at home actually?
No, they're at
The
the
Knicks came
Garden.
home, the Knicks came home to the
They're at
Garden
the
for
Garden.
ahead of us all over the country here. Knicks came home to the Garden to face a Stephon Curry non-appearance game, still nursing that leg injury.
Yeah,
And this game literally came down to the last minutes of the game. Knicks pulling out a win 110 to 107.
yeah,
Game high from the usual suspect, really. Jalen Brunson with 30 points. Hats off to Karl Anthony Towns with the double-double. These games are where Josh Hart really comes out. Not in the points, but the defensive wise, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. That's the type we like. And then from the bench, Jordan Clarkson again, 14 minutes off the bench, and Abelardo made himself appearance with more with assist wise. Dan, even without the Mister I can close my eyes and shoot a three backwards, the Golden State Warriors put up a pretty decent fight against the Knicks, and I'm just going to call out one because I really don't like to give much on it. I'm gonna change it because I can't pronounce this guy's last name. Now Braden
Pojemski,
Podensky. Sorry,
Brandon Pojemski.
thank you. 37 minutes, 25 points, 8 of 15 from the field, 2 of 7 from the distance.
He was cooking in that first half, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
It was
five
rough to watch.
5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. That is a great night. That is a great stat line.
Yeah. No, he was absolutely tremendous. Um, and look, the Warriors massively shorthanded. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Draymond was on street clothes. Um,
Yep.
Stephen Curry, street clothes, like, you know, and they looked like they were literally the second coming of Magic, Kareem, and all those people out in LA. They were unstoppable with the shooting. The Knicks had no answer on both ends of the floor. They couldn't defend, and they were just chucking up shots like it was crazy, man. They were
You know,
so desperate. They were gasping for air, Mark. It was so
yeah.
bad.
That
Um,
first quarter is where you
yeah.
can start
Yeah, I mean
down
they had a brief
35-21.
lead. They had a 1 point lead in the first, and then they didn't have the lead again into the half. Like,
Right. And when you're facing a team like the Golden State Warriors, knowing the talent, mind you, Dan called it out perfectly. It wasn't just Stephen Curry missing. You're missing some very big names in this lineup. And this was a lineup that went toe to toe with top, second best in the Atlantic Division currently.
yeah.
It's
But
Boston's
by the
still
way,
there.
Draymond wasn't hurt or anything. It was just a rest day because I think they were on a
Uh,
bounce back. Um,
I mean, Golden State's not out of it by any means,
right.
you know, but the Knicks in this game, decided. I don't know what broke down worse. Was it the fact that they had a total of 15 turnovers? I
Mm,
mean, that's a lot.
yeah.
But this is a number I loved. 22 of 23 free throws. It's okay to miss one. It's okay to miss a free throw. That's 96%. Those free throws prove to be critical points. And then you and I have been talking about it, the fact that they go up there so nonchalantly, they miss a free throw, and it's oh well, but that's not the case here.
Yeah, tough one. But
Yeah.
look, they were able to battle through. They had it. I believe, to close the first half, if I'm not mistaken, it was th- they closed on like a 20-8 run or whatever it
Hmm.
was. And then
Yes.
that's how they closed the half. And then the second half, they came alive in the second half. Like, it was a good way to recover. Um, like you said, everything was it was neck and neck in the fourth, but the Knicks were able to make the big time shots and make the big time points to come away with the victory. So you take the win any way you can get. Obviously, Brunson with the 30. Um, Mikal Bridges again with the single digits, which pisses me off. And I
Hmm.
know Josh Hart also has single digits, but you know what Josh Hart did? He had five
He put up
assists.
more.
He had 12 total rebounds and was actually a factor into a game, unlike Mikal Bridges, who just once again just doesn't know what he's doing. You know?
Yeah. We've gone over this, so many times on certain aspects. I mean, this was a great win, and it was a needed
Yeah.
win because I think this win is kind of, I hate to use the word retribution, but retribution for losing to the Oklahoma City Thunder by 3 points that game. I think that's where it came back. They said, "Bull crap, we're not losing again." And it was that third quarter for the Knicks in which they really bounced back into this game when they won it 38-26 in the third quarter. And, just that little edge out in the second, and then the fourth quarter, they tied neck and neck at 27, but the Knicks were three up at that point.
Yeah. Um, Solid day out of Jordan Clarkson. Like I said, we loving his game lately. Um, and Shamet doing his thing as well. I just wish that the Knicks didn't have to come back to win this game. The Golden State Warriors, they're massively shorthanded. They don't have their best players playing. It's very frustrating when you have to come back from like a 20-point deficit to win this game. And then, of course, it wasn't all like cookies and everything from to the end. Like it was a tough fight. So, and that brings me to even bigger problems with the Knicks is the fact that even against teams that they should win, no problem, in certain scenarios where they should win, no problem, they scare you. They don't take care of business the way they should. And again, I could point to so many different issues. At the end of the day, it falls on the head coach. And this is exactly the issues that I had when you hired him. Not that Mike Brown is a bad coach. Mike Brown has done a great job this year, but he's not as good as Tibbs was. Tibbs would not allow the Golden State Warriors that massively shorthanded to go up 20 on him. Like that would
No,
not happen under Tibbs at
no,
all.
that I agree with you. That I agree with you on. And the New York Knicks, I mean, we know what they are because we watched them play, but at times I don't think they know how good they actually are.
Mhm.
This Knicks team is better than last year's team. We can say that confidently. If they don't start playing like it, they're going to be doing what we're doing. They're going to be watching from their TV with a beer in their hand, and they're going to pause when they have to go to the bathroom. That's
It's
not what they
like
want.
it's like the highest point of their season was that play-in tournament championship.
Right.
And
And
then
yeah,
they
it's
they
yeah, it's cool. You won it. Okay.
yeah, and they've been cocky since. Like let's be honest about
That's
that.
that's the word. I mean, are they trying to show that the New York Giants thing was the thing? Oh no, we won this. This is it. We're the champs. And the Giants go sit on a boat and smoke marijuana. At least the Knicks know that they're not supposed to go do that, but yet they went out celebrating a little too much.
You know,
So I mean, get it out of your head. The go get that NBA trophy.
the San Antonio Spurs, they were very much into that playing game as the Knicks were. They haven't slowed down yet because they know that they have unfinished business, which is a
Yep.
real NBA championship. They
And
understand the assignment. I don't think this Knicks team really truly understands the assignment.
I think they took it. Look, to me, it looked more like I hate to say it like this. If you've ever been down to Rucker Park, that's what it was like. It was going down to Rucker Park and watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing for this prize, but it just didn't feel like true basketball to me.
Yeah.
Not to
They,
say what goes on at Rucker Park isn't true. I played there. I know what it's like.
Rucker
I'm
Park is
just
great.
saying the Knicks played less light than there.
Yeah. They're at times scared of even the little weasels of teams. That is concerning, Mark.
Yeah,
It's more concerning than a lot of people think. And look, this is the vast majority of the Knicks fan base is saying that this team is not quite championship level yet. I think we
they're
all the fan
acting.
base are pretty much up in arms in that.
We know they're going to the playoffs because of where
Yeah.
they stand now. Who they'll face, we won't know until literally the final day of the season because it's changing day by day. We'll know that. If the Knicks, if it were to end today and the Knicks go out and play like this, they'll be out in the first round.
Yeah.
And it could be the friggin' Clippers that do it. No, that's not possible. Don't worry.
Mhm.
But I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, think about it. You have it could be Philly, who's punked them.
Yep. I mean,
Obviously, we know Boston's punked them. Like literally
okay.
every team, the
Miami is
Magic, the
Miami.
Magic can
Yeah,
do it.
and
Like
Miami has stopped them. So
yeah, so there is no reason why this team should be as soft as they are. But yet here we are.
Um, well, it's a good thing because tonight the Knicks will take on the Indiana Pacers yet again. Get a little aggression out. Another stomping game here, but a little news. Finally, somebody taking responsibility. I like it. Kevin Durant blames the entire loss against the LA Lakers on him because of his bad shooting and whatnot. That's what I like in a player. That's what I call a team
Yeah.
leader.
And yet, look, Kevin Durant's not the entire offense. Like we all know that. He's much
Right.
older. You have players there that are much younger that can score just as much as he can. But no, you're 100% right. Like, Kevin Durant understands he has the championships. He has the winning pedigree, or at least he did. Um, and he knows what it takes to play in the NBA. He's been in the league for 20 years. Like he knows what it takes. So for him to take on that responsibility is massive for Houston.
Mm.
It's the right
And
call for him to do.
and it shows leadership to those younger guys, to say, hey, look, it wasn't because of a bad pass, it was my bad shot.
Yeah.
Uh Now a guy who I actually saw play and coach got his 600th win. Hats
Mhm.
off to Steve Kerr, who
Yeah.
not only won a few championships of his own with the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan, but 600 wins as a coach and a couple of rings as a player. That's a statement.
Yeah. Sorry you couldn't do it at the Garden. Not. Um, but no, congrats to Steve Kerr. Like Steve Kerr made the right decision to go to Golden State. Remember, it was between Golden State and New York, and he chose Golden
Yep.
State. I mean, what a he has had a hell of a career since as a coach. And no, seriously, congrats to him. He's one of the best out there. And um, you do it against a Wizards team that you know, going nowhere. So I'm glad that you're able to get a cookie there.
And for NBA fans who have been calling for an expansion team,
Hmm.
there is finally talk.
Yes.
Could we
Yes.
have one back in Seattle? Where Seattle Supersonics, Dan might not have saw him play. Dan might have been a little baby, but I remember watching Sean Kemp go
Hmm.
crazy and play.
And
Oh,
that was a babe. My first memory of the Sonics, it was like Ray Allen and
yeah. Oh.
all those people.
Or could it be in the shiny sphere of the most gambling city in the world,
It's tough.
Las Vegas, Nevada?
It's tough.
There will not be two. They've made an announcement. There will
Yeah.
be a one-team expansion this year, and then not another one for 5.
Because where's the NBA at? They're at 30 teams, right?
Correct.
Why not expand it? Why not have two?
I haven't figured that out either, but I'm just reading what I'm reading.
I think if you're the NBA, as much as Vegas is very appealing, and Vegas is very appealing, I want an NBA team in Vegas. Um, I think you owe it to Seattle because they got duped by
Mhm.
the OKC
Yeah.
ownership because they were told that they were going to stay in Seattle,
Yep.
and then they quickly bailed because they knew what the real deal was, which is they wanted to bring a team to Oklahoma City.
Right.
So
And look, there's
they
nothing
got
wrong
they
with
got
it, but
screwed. They got
yeah,
royally screwed.
if you remember, well, Dan might have read about it, and I know I watched and read about it. To find the loophole and everything they did in that contract to be able
Yeah.
to get them out,
Mm.
impressive work.
And
And
let's be honest about that. David Stern, excuse me. Stearns is the Mets manager.
Mm.
David Stern is the former commissioner, the late great David Stern. Um, um, that's his handprints. He's massively responsible for that.
And this isn't the first time teams have left where they've been in the NFL. The Indianapolis Colts became the Baltimore Ravens. Teams move. It's not an uncommon thing. You know, the Houston Oilers became the Tennessee Oilers. They move all over the place. But Dan brings up a good point. Why not two new teams? It keeps it balanced.
Hmm.
I would think the only thing that would cause an issue is figuring out the draft and all that. That would be your biggest problem. So it's just an issue you have to get done and figure it out.
Well, teams will still get compensated for their losses, right? So,
Yes.
hmm. I guess one every 5 years isn't terrible. Um, the question is, who do you go to first? The NBA has to right the wrong and bring a team back to Seattle.
I
And
think it
then,
has to go back to Seattle.
yeah, and then still, and look, you can still keep an eye on Vegas and see if they truly build a basketball market. Look, Vegas has only been a sports town for less than 10 years, about what, eight
Yeah.
years? If you're talking
Yeah.
like sports in general, you're talking hockey,
Yeah.
you're talking football, you know,
Yep.
like, and of course they do have basketball there with the Aces, but like, but to me, you have to figure out how to get the NBA back to Seattle.
Yeah.
One. And two, if I'm Clay Bennett, your ass better agree to give all the Sonics history, if the Seattle comes back, to give all of the Sonics history up until when you guys left for Oklahoma City back to Seattle because
Yes.
it's the right thing to do. Like one of the things that that's one of the things that the NBA should 100% do is make sure that they get the hands of that history back there, back to where it belongs.
And that
It's
and
the
that in
only
and
thing
of
to do.
itself, no fans, no team. You know, that's your answer. You got to be able to put a team on the floor that people are going to come out and see. And I mean, it's not something that's happening tomorrow or anything, Dan. But would you think KD would end out
That'll be
if it
funny.
went to Seattle? You think he end out?
I mean, it's not t totally out of the woods, but why not? They could always steal him from the expansion draft.
That's true.
I mean,
You
why
know,
would Houston want to keep him? They can get younger, like get younger. But yeah, Adam Silver, if I were you, I would not only get a team in Seattle, I would find a way to make sure all that rich history from the Sonics, the original Sonics, go back to Seattle, including that championship trophy that
yes.
Oklahoma City does not deserve to have.
I definitely, if the team comes to Seattle, I would like to see the whatever remainders are there. Honestly, I haven't kept track of everybody, but all of them to walk out on the court together and just officially open the arena, so to speak.
Yeah,
Because I was a big Sean Kemp fan, even though I was a Knicks fan.
yeah. And that's a beautiful arena that they have in Seattle. Like they've done a tremendous job at really rebuilding that space. Um, was it? I think it's called Climate Pledge, Center, whatever it's called.
Not
Um,
sure, but
yeah, it's a place where the Kraken play that
uh,
they would end up playing.
not the first stadium that flips boards for ice.
Exactly. Um, I guess I'll be good with Vegas too. I mean, Vegas it's a good place to have sports. Um, I don't know. I think Seattle deserves better.
Well, that is going to do it for our time here on the Six Man Up, here on the Sports Insanity Network. Please come and check out all these pods from basketball, which, as I said, we were bringing it back as a test run. Damn, what episode are we on now?
20.
20 episodes. Dan and I are cooking. However, SIP, the flagship podcast, is way past that. Way past that.
We're going on 500.
Look
So
at that, guy, ladies and gentlemen. 500 individual podcasts, and neither Dan nor Bill has thrown either one out the window. By the way, big shout out to Bill Murphy and his
mhm,
birthday today. Bill, we don't
absolutely.
want to see you working. Go
No,
party, just be safe.
no, as a matter of fact, we pushed our podcast to Saturday from Friday.
Good,
So
good.
he's having a great week. He's going away. Um, so enjoy your time. And be careful out there. Don't
Yeah,
get too drunk. St. Patty's,
yes.
you know.
Don't come home with too many beads, Bill.
Yeah.
Don't come home with too many beads. The Six Man Up will be back next Tuesday at 1 o'clock, in which we'll catch you up on all the news. The Knicks are staying only 2 games behind right now, the Boston Celtics in the Atlantic Division. We are edging closer and closer and closer to playoff time, and you all know what's going to happen during playoff time, right? We're gonna be live as long as Dan's not in the pod booth and Patch isn't cutting fish and Bill is not in church and I'm not breaking a case of baseball cards, As long as all our schedules combine, we have gone live for the Knicks' first playoff game all the time, and we're gonna have good food, good talk. Look out for great articles. Mike Rifkin has been pumping out some great, amazing articles of lately. Go check out some of them. A lot of them coming up on the NFL turn. For myself, Mark Oldop, Sky Alpern, with one of the men who started the Sports Insanity Network, Vice President Danny Boy Reginald, want to say take care. I'll catch you on the flip side.
Peace and love, everybody.